The starship Hanbit moved slowly through the quiet space. Outside the windows, stars shined like tiny diamonds. The crew was ready. They had traveled for months to reach a planet that no human had ever seen before. The planet's name was Narai. Many stories called it a paradise, a perfect place full of life and beauty, but no one knew if it was true. Captain Minsu sat in his chair. He was calm but alert. His eyes looked at the bright screen in front of him. The landing was coming soon. Around him, his team prepared their equipment. Everyone was excited and nervous. Hee-Jin, the scientist, checked her instruments. She wanted to learn everything about this new world. She dreamed of finding new plants and animals, or maybe even signs of the old alien race that once lived there. Dae-Wan, the engineer, made sure the ship's engines were ready to land safely. Sua, the medic, checked the medical supplies and made sure everything was clean and ready for any emergency. The planet Narai looked beautiful from space. It was covered with green forests and blue lakes. Its air seemed clear, and there were no signs of storms or danger. The whole planet looked peaceful and calm. But the crew knew that sometimes beauty could hide danger. As Hanbit entered the planet's atmosphere, the ship shook a little. Minsu spoke to the crew through the intercom. His voice was steady and strong. "We are landing on Narai. Get ready for the first step of our mission." The ship's engines roared softly as it moved closer to the ground. The landing site was a large clearing surrounded by tall trees. The light of the sun made the leaves shine like gold. Birds flew quietly in the distance. It was like a dream. When the ship landed, the doors opened slowly. Minsu was the first to step out. He looked around with wide eyes. The air smelled fresh and sweet. It was warm but not too hot. The ground under his boots was soft and covered with moss. Hee-Jin stepped out next. She carried a small box with tools and sensors. She began to scan the plants and soil. She smiled. "This place is amazing," she said softly. "The air is clean, and the plants are unlike anything I have seen." Dae-Wan and Sua followed carefully. Dae-Wan carried some equipment to check the ship's systems outside. Sua watched the team and took notes of their health and safety. The crew began to explore the clearing. They found many strange plants with colors they did not expect. Some leaves glowed faintly in the shadow. Strange flowers moved gently as if breathing. Birds and small animals watched the humans from a distance but did not seem afraid. Minsu called the team back. He wanted to see something important. Near the edge of the clearing, they found a tall stone structure. It was old and covered with vines, but it looked strong. The stone was carved with strange symbols and pictures. None of the crew could understand them. Hee-Jin was very curious. She took pictures and samples of the vines and stones. She thought the structure was part of the alien civilization that had lived on Narai long ago. "This must be a temple or a monument," she said. "It tells a story we do not know yet." While the team studied the stone, Minsu kept looking at the sky. The sun was setting, and the sky changed to soft pink and orange. It was beautiful, but also a reminder that night was coming. The planet's nights were said to be very cold and dangerous. Minsu decided it was time to return to the ship. "We will set up camp here for the night," he said. "Tomorrow, we will explore deeper into the forest." The crew agreed. They made a small camp near the clearing and prepared their food. Around the campfire, they talked about what they had seen. Everyone was amazed by the beauty and the mystery of Narai. Hee-Jin shared her thoughts. "I believe this planet was home to a great civilization. The plants and animals are connected to it. We must be careful not to damage anything." Dae-Wan nodded. "Yes, and we need to keep the ship ready. We do not know what dangers are still hidden here." Sua reminded the team to rest well. "We will need all our strength for tomorrow." Minsu looked at his team. He felt proud and hopeful. This mission was important for all of humanity. They could find answers about life beyond Earth, but he also knew that they must be careful. The unknown could bring risks. That night, the camp was quiet, except for the sounds of the forest. Strange creatures called softly from the shadows. The stars shone brightly above. The crew slept, dreaming of what the new day would bring. Early the next morning, Minsu woke the team. The sun rose over the trees, bringing light and warmth. They prepared for their journey into the deep forest. This was the real adventure. As they walked, the forest grew thicker and darker. The plants were strange and beautiful. Some trees had leaves that looked like crystals. Flowers opened slowly, showing colors no human had named. The air was full of sweet smells and soft sounds. Hyejin stopped often to take samples. She collected strange seeds and leaves. She also recorded sounds of unknown animals. Everything was new and exciting. Daewon examined the ground and trees. He noticed small devices hidden under moss and leaves. They looked like old machines, but covered in rust and dirt. "These must be alien technology," he said quietly. "But they have not worked for a long time." Suddenly, Sua stopped and pointed ahead. There was a clear path leading to a large building hidden among the trees. It looked like a palace or a temple, bigger and more beautiful than the stone monument near the camp. The team moved closer carefully. The building was made of shining metal and stone. Strange lights flickered inside as if the building was alive. The air felt different here, colder, but full of energy. Hyejin used her scanner. The building gave off a strong energy signal. "This place is very important," she said. "It could hold many secrets." Minsu gave orders. "We will explore inside. Stay alert and stick together." Inside the building, the walls were covered with glowing symbols. They changed colors slowly, showing pictures of stars, planets, and strange creatures. The floor was smooth and cool. In the center of the room, there was a pedestal with an object on it. The object was a small cube, glowing softly with blue light. It seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. Hyejin stepped forward carefully and reached out to touch it. As soon as her fingers touched the cube, a wave of light filled the room. The symbols on the wall shined brighter. The air buzzed with energy. The team felt a strange power, like the building was waking up. Hyejin quickly pulled her hand back. "This is not just an object," she said. "It is alive, or it is connected to something alive." Daewon examined the cube. This could be a key or a control device. It might unlock more of the building. Minsu made a decision. "We will take this cube with us. It might help us understand this place." The team carefully took the cube and placed it in a protective box. They returned to the ship with a mix of excitement and caution. They did not know what they had started. Back on the Hanbit, the crew studied the cube. It pulsed gently, shining blue light in the dark room. Hyejin connected her instruments to it, trying to read its signals. The ship's computer tried to understand the alien technology. Suddenly, strange things began to happen. The lights flickered. Machines beeped and stopped. The air felt colder. The crew watched nervously. Minsu ordered calm. "Stay focused. We do not know what this means yet." But the cube's energy grew stronger. It sent out waves that made the ship's systems unstable. The plants and animals outside reacted too. Outside the windows, the forest glowed softly in the night. The crew knew that this was only the beginning. The paradise of Narai was not as peaceful as it seemed. Something ancient and powerful had been disturbed. The adventure was about to change forever. The cube pulsed softly in the middle of the Hanbit's laboratory. It gave off a cool blue light that moved like a heartbeat. Hyejin stared at it with wide eyes. She felt both curious and worried. The alien artifact was unlike anything she had ever seen. It was beautiful but strange. She placed the cube carefully on the table and started her machines. Her goal was to understand the signals coming from it. The ship's computer helped too, but the language of the cube was very different. It sent out patterns of light and sound that no human machine could easily read. Daewon was nearby. He checked the ship's engines and control systems. Suddenly, he noticed something odd. The screens on the control panel began to flicker. Some machines stopped working for a moment and then started again. "Captain Minsu," Daewon said in a calm voice. "The cube is affecting the ship's systems. I am not sure why." Minsu was standing close by. He looked serious. "Is it dangerous?" he asked. We do not know, Daewon answered. But the power coming from the cube is strong. It may cause problems. Sua came into the room. She looked at the cube and then at the crew. I'm worried, she said. Some crew members feel tired or dizzy. It might be connected to the cube's energy. Minsu nodded. We must be careful. No one should touch the cube again until we understand it better. Hyejin agreed, but could not stop thinking about the cube. She wanted to study it more to find out its secrets. Slowly she reached out her hand, but before she could touch it, the cube's light flashed bright. A wave of energy moved through the room. It was like a soft wind made of light. The machines beeped loudly. The lights in the room dimmed and then brightened again. Hyejin pulled back quickly. This is not just a simple object, she said. It has power. We must be very careful. Outside the ship, the forest of Narai began to change. The plants that once glowed softly started to shine more brightly. The bioluminescent flowers opened wider. The trees moved gently as if they were alive. The glowing plants spread quickly. The soft blue light covered the forest floor like a moving wave. Small animals ran through the trees, startled by the sudden change. Minsu looked out the window. This is not normal, he said. The planet is reacting to the cube. Hyejin's machines showed that the energy from the cube was sending signals into the planet's environment. The signals were like a call, waking up something deep inside Narai. Daewon tried to stop the effects. He worked fast to shield the ship's systems from the cube's energy, but the power was too strong. The energy waves continued to pulse. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The ship's sensors detected movement outside. Minsu and the team rushed to the observation room. Outside, they saw strange glowing plants growing rapidly. They moved like vines, but with a life of their own. The plants stretched out and climbed trees, rocks, and even the ship. Sua looked worried. If these plants spread too much, they could cover the whole landing site. Minsu ordered the crew to prepare for any emergency. We do not know if these plants are dangerous, but we must be ready. Back in the lab, Hyejin studied the cube's signals carefully. She noticed patterns that looked like a code. The signal seemed to be a message from the ancient aliens who once lived here. It may be a warning or a protection system, Hyejin said. The cube could be a key to the planet's defense. Daewon looked at the data. If that is true, we may have accidentally triggered something we should not have. Minsu thought for a moment. We must find a way to stop this before it gets worse. That night, the crew stayed awake. They watched the glowing forest outside the ship. The plants moved quietly, but their power grew. The ship's systems were still unstable. Sua checked the health of the crew. Many felt weak or had strange headaches. The energy from the cube may be affecting us, she said. We need to find a solution fast. Hyejin worked late into the night. She tried to communicate with the cube using light signals. She hoped to understand its purpose. Suddenly, the cube responded. Its light flashed in a new pattern. Hyejin's machines translated the signals as best they could. The cube says that it is a guardian device, Hyejin explained. It was designed to protect the planet from dangers. When activated, it wakes up the defense systems. Minsu frowned. Defense systems? What kind? The plants, for one, Hyejin said. And something else. The planet has hidden machines that can protect it. Daewon looked worried. Those machines could be dangerous for us. Minsu gave a firm order. We will search for these machines. We need to understand what we are facing. The next day, the crew prepared to leave the ship again. They took weapons and tools for defense. They wanted to find the source of the defense systems and try to stop it. As they moved deeper into the forest, the plants around them seemed alive. Vines moved slowly, blocking some paths. Flowers opened and closed like watching eyes. Hyejin's sensors detected signals coming from underground. The energy was strong near an old clearing, covered by thick trees. When they reached the clearing, they found ancient machines hidden beneath moss and vines. The machines were large and made of metal but covered in rust. Minsu touched one of the machines carefully. It suddenly came to life. Lights turned on and soft sounds filled the air. The machines started to move. They looked like robots, but their shape was strange and alien. They had many arms and eyes that glowed red. The defense system was waking. Up the crew quickly took positions. Minsu held a weapon ready. Daewon tried to use his tools to shut down the machines. The robots did not attack immediately. They seemed to scan the crew and the environment. Suddenly, the plants around the clearing started to grow faster. Vines wrapped around trees and rocks. The glowing flowers lit up the night like stars. The defense system was working together, plants and machines. Sua warned the team. We must act fast before they attack. Daewon managed to access one of the machine's control panels. He tried to find a way to shut them down. Hyejin focused on the cube. She held it tightly, hoping it could help control the defense systems. Minsu gave orders. Keep the machines busy. Daewon and Hyejin work on stopping them. The robots moved slowly but with purpose. They scanned the area and sent signals to each other. Suddenly, one robot fired a beam of light toward the forest. The plants reacted by spreading even faster. The crew was in danger. Minsu shouted, "Fall back to the ship. We cannot fight them here." The team ran through the forest, dodging vines and glowing plants. The defense system was closing in. Back on the Hanbit, the crew sealed the doors. They prepared to use all their power to defend the ship. Hyejin looked at the cube. It was pulsing faster now. The energy was growing stronger. "We have awakened a powerful system," she said. "The alien paradise is not safe anymore." Minsu nodded. "We must find a way to stop this before it destroys us and the planet." The team was tired and scared, but they knew one thing. They had to fight back. The fate of their mission and maybe their lives depended on it. The air inside the Hanbit was tense and heavy. The crew worked hard to keep the ship safe from the strange forces they had awakened on Narai. The glowing plants and alien machines were more powerful than anyone had expected. They were not just protecting the planet. They were fighting to destroy anything that did not belong. Captain Minsu stood by the control panel, watching the screens. The warning signals blinked red. The defense system was growing stronger. It was clear now. The artifact they had found was not just a key or a tool. It was a trigger. A failsafe designed to protect the alien paradise at all costs. Hyejin looked, worried. She held the glowing cube carefully in her hands. "This artifact was made to start what the aliens called the end times," she said quietly. "It is a final defense. If anyone tries to take their secrets or harm the planet, the system will destroy everything." Minsu's eyes narrowed. "We did not know this. We thought we were exploring, learning. But we have started something dangerous." Daewon worked quickly on the ship's computers. "The plants are spreading faster. They are covering more ground and moving toward the ship. The machines are activating more units. It is like a war." Sua checked the medical data of the crew. "The energy from the artifact is affecting us all. The toxin from the plants is in the air. We must find a way to stop this or leave immediately." Minsu took a deep breath. "Leaving now may not be safe. The system may not let us go." The crew prepared for the worst. They put on protective suits and armed themselves with tools and weapons. They knew they had to fight for their lives and the mission. Outside the ship, the forest was alive with movement. The glowing vines crept closer. The air was filled with strange sounds, the hum of machines and the whisper of leaves. The defense robots had multiplied. They moved like shadows through the trees, their red eyes searching for the intruders. Their metal arms were ready to attack. Minsu ordered the crew to get ready. "We must find the control center of this defense system. If we can shut it down, we may stop the end times." Hyejin nodded. "The artifact signals show a strong source deep in the forest. That must be where the system is controlled." The team set out into the dark forest, moving carefully but quickly. The glowing plants lit their path. The vines tried to block them, but the crew used their tools to cut through. The forest was strange and eerie. The air smelled of wet earth and something metallic. The trees seemed to watch the humans as they passed. Suddenly, a group of defense robots appeared. They blocked the path, their arms raised and ready. The crew prepared to fight. Minsu fired a warning shot. The robots did not move back. Instead, they advanced slowly, their metal legs making soft sounds on the ground. Daewon used a device to send a pulse of energy at the robots. Some of them stopped for a moment, but then the machines adapted and continued. The fight was tough. The crew used teamwork to push through. Sua stayed close, ready to help any injured member. Finally, after many minutes, the robots retreated. The team moved deeper into the forest. At last, they reached a large clearing. In the center was a huge building covered with glowing symbols. The artifact's signals were strongest here. Minsu looked at the building. This must be the control center. If we can get inside, we can stop the defense system. The building's door was tall and made of metal. Strange lights flickered along its surface. The symbols changed colors, almost as if the building was alive. Hyejin stepped forward and held the artifact. The cube glowed brighter. The symbols on the door reacted and began to open slowly. Inside, the building was cold and dark. The walls were covered with more glowing symbols and strange machines. The floor was smooth and made of metal. The crew moved carefully. They felt the power of the defense system all around them. In the center of the room, they saw a large console with many buttons and lights. The console looked old, but still active. Hyejin connected the artifact to the console. The cube pulsed, with light, and sent signals into the machine. Suddenly, a hologram appeared. It showed an alien figure dressed in shining armor. The figure spoke in a language no one understood, but the ship's computer translated. "This is the guardian of the planet Narai," the voice said. "The artifact is the key to the defense system. It is programmed to protect this world from all threats. If the system is active, the end times will destroy the invaders and cleanse the land." Minsu frowned. "Can we stop it?" The hologram's eyes glowed red. "Only by shutting down the control system. But beware, the defense will fight to the last." Suddenly, the building shook. Alarms sounded. The defense robots were coming. The crew prepared to defend the control center. The robots broke through the walls and entered the room. Minsu and the team fought bravely. They used their weapons and tools to block the attacks. Daewon worked on the console, trying to find the shutdown code. The hologram watched silently. Hyejin helped him, sending signals from the artifact to unlock the system. The robots attacked again and again, but the crew stood firm. Finally, Daewon found the code. He entered it quickly. The machines began to slow down. The glowing symbols on the walls dimmed. The hologram's eyes changed from red to blue. The defense robots stopped moving. They powered down and stood still. The artifact's light faded to a soft glow. The end times had been stopped. The crew sighed with relief. They had survived the attack and shut down the defense system. Minsu looked around. "We must leave this place carefully. The planet may still be dangerous." Hyejin agreed. "We have learned much. The aliens created a powerful defense to protect their paradise, but we must be careful with such power." As they left the control center, the forest began to calm. The glowing plants slowed their movement and dimmed their light. The defense machines were silent. The crew returned to the ship, tired but alive. Minsu stood at the ship's window, looking at the peaceful forest outside. "This mission was harder than we thought," he said. "But humanity's strength and courage have made us survive." Hyejin smiled. "We are ready for whatever comes next." The Hanbit prepared to leave Narai. The crew knew their adventure was not over. The universe was full of mysteries and challenges, but they were ready. The Hanbit was quiet after the battle in the control center. The glowing forest outside had calmed, but the crew knew they could not relax yet. The defense system was off for now, but the planet still held many secrets and dangers. Captain Minsu gathered the team in the ship's meeting room. They needed a plan to protect themselves and complete the mission. The artifact, the glowing cube, still pulsed softly on the table. It was both a key and a mystery. He-Jin spoke first. The artifact helped us shut down the defense system, but it also connects to the planet's energy. If we can learn to control it, we might protect ourselves and stop the plants and machines from attacking again. Daewon nodded. I agree. The alien technology is advanced, but it also responds to logic and patterns. If we use human creativity, we can hack the system. Su'a added, we also need to protect the crew. The alien toxins are still in the air and affecting us. We need a way to stop the sickness. Minsu looked at his team. Then let us work together. He-Jin and Daewon, study the artifact and alien tech. Su'a, prepare medicines for the crew. I will coordinate the mission and security. He-Jin and Daewon set up their equipment in the lab. They worked side by side, trying to understand the cube's signals and the alien machines. The artifact sent pulses of light and sound. They copied the patterns and sent back new signals, hoping to communicate. Days passed. The crew faced many challenges. The glowing plants still moved, slowly spreading. Sometimes new defense robots appeared, but the humans were ready. They used their knowledge and tools to fight back. He-Jin made a discovery. The artifact responds to emotions and intentions, she said. It reacts to our thoughts and feelings. That is why it pulsed when we touched it. Daewon smiled. That means we can use our minds to guide it. We can control the defense system in a way. Together they created a device that could connect the artifact's energy to the ship's computers. The device helped them send commands to the alien machines and plants. With careful control, they slowed the spread of the glowing plants. The machines stopped attacking when the humans showed peaceful signals. Meanwhile, Su'a worked on a medicine to fight the alien toxins. She studied the plants and found natural compounds that could help. She made a serum and tested it on the crew. Slowly, their health improved. The crew felt stronger and more hopeful. They were learning to live in harmony with the alien world. 1. Minsu received a message from the ship's sensors. There was a strong signal coming from a distant part of the planet. It was different from the defense system. The signal was warm and steady, like a heartbeat. Curious, the team decided to investigate. They prepared for a journey deep into the forest. This time, they were better equipped and ready. The trip was long and hard. The forest grew darker and thicker. Strange sounds echoed around them. But the crew moved forward, trusting their teamwork. At last, they reached a large valley. In the center was a lake that shined like glass. Around the lake were ruins of an ancient city. Tall buildings made of crystal and metal rose toward the sky. The air here was calm and clean. The glowing plants were not moving. The defense machines were silent. He-Jin felt a strong connection to the place. This must be the heart of the alien civilization, she said. The source of the energy. As they explored the ruins, they found signs of a great culture. Walls were covered with paintings of stars, plants, and people. There were machines that looked like art. The city was beautiful and full of life, even in ruins. In the center of the city, they found a large crystal. It pulsed with soft light similar to the artifact. Minsu approached it carefully. The crystal seemed alive. It sent waves of energy that made the crew feel calm and safe. He-Jin studied the crystal. This is the core of the planet's power, she said. It gives life to the forest and controls the defense system. Daewon examined the crystal's base. If we can connect the artifact to this crystal, we might control the planet's energy. Su'a warned, but be careful. We do not know what will happen. Minsu gave the order. We will try, but everyone stay alert. He-Jin connected the artifact to the crystal. The light from both objects grew brighter. The energy flowed between them like a river. The glowing plants around the city stopped moving. The defense machines powered down completely. The forest grew calm. Suddenly, a hologram appeared. It showed an alien figure standing beside the crystal. The figure smiled warmly. This is the peacekeeper of Narai, the voice said. You have shown courage and wisdom. You have stopped the end times. Now, You must learn to protect and respect this paradise. Minsu bowed his head. We want to learn and protect. The hologram continued. The power of this planet is great. It must be used with care. Your species has the chance to live in harmony with Narai. Hyejin looked at the team. This is a new beginning. The crew stayed in the city for days. They learned from the ancient knowledge. They worked with the planet's energy to heal the damage. Sua's medicines helped the forest and animals recover. Day Wan improved the ship's systems to connect with the alien technology. Minsu felt proud of his team. We have faced danger and mystery, but we have used our human creativity and spirit to survive. The mission had changed. It was no longer just exploration. It was a partnership between humans and an alien world. As they prepared to leave the city, the crystals, light shone bright. The artifact glowed softly. Minsu said, "We will protect this planet and learn from it. Our journey is only beginning." The Hanbit took off, leaving the peaceful valley behind. The stars welcomed the crew as they flew toward new adventures. The Hanbit was ready to leave the planet Narai. After days of learning, fighting, and discovery, the crew felt a deep respect for the world they were about to leave behind. The glowing forests were calm. The alien machines were silent. The planet's heart, the crystal in the ancient city, pulsed softly as if saying goodbye. Captain Minsu stood on the ship's bridge. He looked at the stars and thought about everything that had happened. The mission had started as an exploration, but it became a test of human courage and wisdom. The humans had entered an alien paradise and accidentally set off the end times. But through strength and kindness, they had stopped the destruction. Hyejin came beside him, holding the glowing artifact carefully. "This planet is alive in many ways," she said softly. "It has power and history. We must protect it and learn from it." Minsu nodded. "We have a duty now, not just to explore, but to respect and care." The crew gathered in the meeting room one last time. They shared their thoughts and feelings about the journey. Each one was changed by what they had seen and done. Sua spoke first. "The planet healed as we healed. The medicines I made helped both humans and nature. This shows how connected everything is." Daewon smiled. "The technology here is beyond what we knew, but it responds to logic and heart. Our human creativity helped us control it. We can take these lessons forward." Hyejin added, "The artifact is a symbol. It is a reminder that power must be used wisely. We must carry this message with us." Minsu looked around the room. "We have a story to tell, about courage, mistakes, and hope. Humanity has a chance to grow stronger and wiser." Before leaving, the crew made a promise. They would keep the secret of Narai safe. They would protect the planet from harm. They would use their knowledge to help others understand the universe better. As the handbit lifted off from the ground, the forest below seemed to glow brighter. The crystal in the ancient city shined like a beacon of peace. The defense system was quiet, resting but ready if needed. The crew watched Narai grow smaller in the distance. They felt a mixture of sadness and hope. They had lost and found much. Here, in the ship's laboratory, Hyejin placed the artifact in a special container. It pulsed softly as if alive. She smiled. "This is not just an object, it is a new beginning." Minsu looked at the stars ahead. "Wherever we go next, we will carry the spirit of Narai with us." Days passed as the Hanbit traveled through space. The crew worked on their reports and studied the data from the mission. They prepared to share their findings with humanity, but carefully. The secrets of Narai were precious. One evening, as the crew rested, the ship's sensors detected a faint signal. It was subtle, almost like a whisper. Minsu watched the screen closely. "This signal is not from our ship," he said. "It is coming from somewhere nearby." Hyejin studied the signal. "It is similar to the artifact's energy, but different. It feels alive." The crew felt a new sense of mystery. The universe was bigger and more complex than they thought. There were other worlds, other beings watching and waiting. Minsu smiled. Our adventure is just beginning. The Hanbit turned toward the signal, ready to explore new frontiers. The crew was brave and curious. They carried the lessons of Narai with them, that power must be respected, that courage can change fate, and that humans can rise to any challenge. As the stars passed by the windows, the crew looked ahead. They were not just explorers. They were protectors and learners. They were the future, and somewhere deep in space the alien worlds waited.